And we're back. All flash.
No substance.
All right. So today's top 5 top childhood memories gone horribly wrong.
That is
with the release of Teen Titans.
That is a real big area that we can definitely find a
Now we're gonna keep this. We're gonna limit this to movies and TV shows.
Movies and TV shows. That's actually great because there have been a lot of times that they've tried to remake things or do a live action version of something that was near and dear to our heart that has gone horribly, horribly wrong. All right, so are you going to go first here, Art?
I'll let you have the honors.
All right, great, because I have no order of I just wrote down things that I hated.
Well, save your top one. There's no. This one's so bad because, as most of y'all know, growing up with childhood memories, you have this passion, right? Right. So it's hard to list which ones rank in a certain order, but there's always one that really just bugs you more than any other.
Yeah, definitely, and it is on here.
So we're not going to go this time. Usually we count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're just going to do the worst 4 down to our most hated movie of our childhood memory.
The format?
Oh, well, we're doing things different this time, guys.
I'm doing 5. So number 5.
Number 5.
All right, so my number 5, and I'm not sure how much I really hated this one, but it still wasn't a good movie, and it's not memorable at all. It's and I was a big fan of like Rocky and Bullwinkle and those style of cartoons.
Yeah,
but that's not the one, and this should have been on the list. But George of the Jungle with Brendan Fraser was it's just a bad movie, and it's like, and I understand George of the Jungle was goofy and it was supposed to be that way, but in live action, it just looks stupid. It looked really, really stupid. And
I think it was supposed to be dumb and funny. It was a play.
It lost the funny in being stupid. It was just really, really stupid. And then the character for George of the Jungle is like, I mean, he's a super stocky build, skinny legs. Obviously, Brendan Fraser beefed up for it.
I was going to say, that was the movie he actually looked like.
He beefed up for it, but it still never sold me as George. And I was like, they did the talking apes, and it just kind of felt disconnected. But anyway, the movie I never really caught on to it. I was just like, I don't need to see that again. All right. So.
Okay.
Number 4. All right, so number 4, I'm actually going to do the Flintstones. And I know the Flintstones, Viva Rock Vegas or something like that made Manny's, was it worst sequels list or something like that?
Yeah, something.
But just in general, I never got on with the Flintstones, period, in live action. That should always be a cartoon. It should never be live action. I know it was kind of a curiosity because it was during the time where they were just like, everything that was a cultural cartoon, we're going to make live
2000
action.
Going forward.
Exactly. Everything that's got some type of following, some type of cult following, something like that, we're going to make it live action if it was animated. And John Goodman as Fred was okay. I didn't buy Rick Moranis as Barney.
No.
Everything else just seemed like it was cosplay of cavemen. And I know it's trying to vibe into that cartoon feel, and I know I'm being hard, but when you look at the movie again, you're like, I can't believe people watched this, because that's how I felt when I saw a clip of it online, and I was like, oh yeah, that is not aging well at all. All right, so that was number 4.
Number
3. Of all the Scooby-Doo live-action films, I had not liked any of them. I don't know why it is. You know what's funny is there is a Scooby-Doo porn. I like that more than Scooby-Doo live-action films.
We should save that for WTF.
That should have been WTF. But look, I think they did a great job with the voices. I can't remember his name from Scary Movie.
6 hours later.
It's not. That guy, that guy did a great job playing Shaggy, and I believed him. He was probably the best thing ever. But the CGI on Scooby was horrible, and everybody else, because they got Freddie Prinze Jr. He was Fred. Freddie Prinze Jr. was Fred. How perfect is that? But I didn't really buy him as Fred. Daphne, Velma, everybody. Daphne. It seems like they got all the late '90s stars that couldn't get a good film anymore, and it was like, you know what? You guys
were on the cover of Team Bop.
Yeah, it was like this
10 years ago. Let's see what we can do with you.
Threw them all in a Scooby-Doo film, and I just don't think it was for who it was intended for. They got these people that adults knew.
Yeah.
But the movie was intended for kids, and maybe they thought that those people would take their kids to go see it, but those people weren't old enough to actually have kids. Well, so it was it couldn't find its thing, and they made sequels to this, so obviously I'm wrong because other people were seeing it. Just wasn't me. All right.
Kids were seeing it.
Kids
they had nothing to compare it to.
There you go, because they didn't watch the cartoon. You ruined my old Scooby-Doo, by the way. Number two, and this might be surprising to some people, but it's not surprising to me. G.I. Joe. That was a dumpster fire. I don't care what they did with The Rock in the sequel, but the original one was a joke.
Yeah.
It was a complete joke by melding, spoiler alert, melding Cobra Commander and Dr. Mindbender together, giving them like power suits and doing crappy CGI with the power suits. And by the way, Marlon Wayans should never be a soldier, period. I will never ever buy him as a soldier of anything. Channing Tatum was still early in his acting career, so he wasn't really up to par. And probably the biggest takeaway was the girl who played the Baroness, because she was uber hot, and I will watch her in anything.
I agree.
All right, so number one, it's probably going to be the same on both of ours. So this is just a preview to what he might have, or maybe he changes it up because we know art. Transformers. I don't need to say anything else.
Well, for our viewers, give us a reason why.
All right, man. If you're a big fan of Transformers, you know that the Bayformers does not meet the standards of what we had from the animated film.
Very true.
And I know a lot of people I've made this argument with people. They were like, okay, well, you're comparing it on that one series of Transformers. When you look at all the other incarnations of Transformers, they became closer to what Bay established. And you know what I say to that? You guys are wrong. Because they screwed it up. Because they got it right in the 80s, and then they screwed it up ever since. And I thank Michael Bay for that, because he ruined this franchise, starting with Transformers #1. We're not even got to go into Revenge of the Fallen, because everybody hates that movie. But Transformers #1 ruined what we know as my childhood thing, Transformers.
Okay. Wow.
That was a lot to say, right?
That was a lot.
I'm a guy who Googled in 3 minutes.
All right, I'm going to go with my top 5.
All right.
Or worst 5.
Worst 5. Your
My
top worst 5.
My top worst 5.
Number 5!
Or as Manny would like to say, my worst top 5 list.
Your worst. All of them are worse. All of them are the worst. Number 5!
Number 5. I'm going to go with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The remake produced by Michael Bay?
Yes. Michael Bay, stay away from all my childhood things. I'm still amazed at how companies give him money.
Because China loves him.
Yeah, but
everything he produces.
it's just like the fans, the viewers walk out of the movie saying it wasn't good, but it's just because the masses show up because of the name. I think it's just like
he made this little thing called Armageddon, and he made this little thing called The Rock. So I mean, he gets a lot of credit for that stuff. And
that was almost 18 years ago, over 18 years ago, 20 years ago.
Hey, look.
20 years ago. Let's think about that, folks. I can't milk that at all. If I could show up to my job and say, 20 years ago, I gave you one of the best performances, or
Martin Scorsese still get credit for filming.
Okay, well, thank you for defending Michael Bay. I'm just letting you know you're defending him. After
I'm just saying,
after he was on your number 1
Steven
list.
Spielberg still gets credit for E.T. Come on. Number 4.
You're gonna laugh at this one. I have Garfield.
I forgot about Garfield. Though I wasn't upset with Bill Murray playing Garfield, because he actually did when they brought it back, he did the animated voice.
Bill Murray wasn't the problem. The movie was the problem.
The movie was the problem. Okay.
It wasn't very good.
It wasn't really good, and I
loved Garfield growing up, because I would read the comics, the strip, and just like it was adult humor that was made for a child. Like, there's a lot of things if those of you that haven't, go back and read some old, very old, now that you're an adult, now that you have bills, now that you have payments, now that you have responsibilities.
Now that you have a love of lasagna.
Yeah. You go back and you're like, dang, Garfield was deep.
Yeah, he was.
He was deep.
All in thought bubbles.
Yeah.
They never really explained how John knew what he was talking about. Never explained that when it was all thought bubbles. Number 3.
I'm gonna actually go with the Flintstones.
The Flintstones. Okay, you also put the Flintstones on your list. Okay.
Now, John Goodman. Good Lord, I love the guy. He's got some great movies. He's played some great characters.
He should have played Baloo in Jungle Book, but not
Unfortunately,
Fred Flintstone.
no. Fred Flintstone. Just the whole movie was a flop. There was nothing good about this movie.
No, it was.
I was never a big fan of Scooby-Doo, so that never even made my list, because that's not a childhood memory of mine.
Okay.
All right.
I think with Flintstones too. We already got the live action version of Flintstones. It was called The Honeymooners, which they based the Flintstones on. We already got that, so we didn't need another one.
That's true. Number two. All right. I'm gonna go with G.I. Joe.
Thank you. I know somebody else shares the hate for G.I. Joe.
I mean, those of us that grew up with G.I. Joe, I remember running home and watching G.I. Joe because it came on at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it was just the show that I look forward to.
The show with many weapons and many vehicles that nobody
made
got
no
killed.
sense.
Nobody got killed. Nobody killed.
And then you watch the live action, and it's like, who are these characters? It's like as if they didn't even read.
Well, they gave you some of the guy in their defense.
No. They gave you the characters. What I'm saying, they didn't read or watch any of the cartoons to say, oh, this is what this character's supposed to at least look like.
Right. No, they just cast a bunch of people they thought was going to make money, as Hollywood always does, and then it didn't go right. Number one.
This is going to be a shocker. I know you weren't expecting this one.
Yeah.
Transformers.
Man, it was left field already, man. I didn't expect that one at all.
Let's just be honest with this one.
Okay.
You've already said everything that needed to be said except for one other thing.
Okay. I'm waiting.
There was nothing good about Transformers except for one thing. I like the fact that Michael Bay went and based all his Transformers off actual sizes of their vehicles.
Okay. Well, there's a whole thing. I'm gonna get nerdy now. So there's a whole thing in the Transformer universe. They where like
they can shrink down the size. They can,
it's like.
But what I'm saying is, in the movie, it was like, come on, Jazz was never going to be the same size as a freaking right. It just wasn't. I mean, the little Spitfires, or what were they called? The Pontiac car that he was based off of.
Oh, the Solstice.
The Solstice. Yeah. The Solstice.
Pontiac Solstice? Yeah, it was a Pontiac Solstice. Because that one year that they made that car and then never made it again.
They thought they was going to sell a whole bunch because
never made it again.
Yeah, everybody went and bought the Camaros instead.
Real American cars.
That's the one thing that I liked about it. He actually gave thought about what size the Transformers were going to be in comparison to the vehicles that they were going to be.
And do you know what he did after that? He killed the one black Transformer.
Yeah.
The one black Transformer, he killed that.
That's true. Michael Bay, I see through your facade.
All right. Honorable mentions. Rocky and Bullwinkle. That's another one that didn't deserve to be.
I was never a big fan of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
How'd you not like Rocky and Bullwinkle? That's my only honorable mention because everything else is still actually in production. Masters of the Universe.
That, oddly enough, He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
Dolph Lundgren.
Was one of my favorite movies that they redid.
Really?
Yeah, because when I was younger and they remade it, it's like Dolph Lundgren still had these huge bulging muscles.
I bought him as He-Man.
He was He-Man.
It didn't take place on Eternia. It was too much space weapons in it. Now it's like I want to see some throwing people around and his stupid little tuck roll he would do and sit there and get up and then punch the screen. None of that. We got none of that. And it took place on Earth.
I'd watch that 20 times before I would watch Transformers or G.I. Joe.
True. Very true.
Right.
I didn't like the makeup on Skeletor either. All right, so that's our top 5 list. Make sure you guys put your guys' top 5 list in the comments below. If you're a child of the 80s like we are, I'm sure you got a bunch that you would like to say. Make sure, because I'm sure we missed a couple of them that I'm going to be like, oh, I didn't get that one either. So, all right, take us home.
Hey, guys. For Manny, wherever the hell he's at, Aspen.
She's in my. Her name's in her picture in the back of the milk carton.
You know what her and John Cena have in common?
That you can't see him?
You can't see him.
Why did I have to think about that? John's right here.
John's right here. And Aspen's right behind him. I'm Mark.
I'm Terrence.
This is The Goods. Dun, dun, dun.
Make sure my ringers are off. That's the ringer, yeah. Okay, cool. I'm ready, sir. Born ready.